According to Jewish tradition, there are three prayers one should recite every day. In the morning, it's called Shacharit. In the afternoon, it's called Mincha. And in the evening, it's called Arvit or Ma'ariv. Same thing. 3 times a day. How do you pray? Well, do you stand up or sit, try to concentrate and think about what happened during the day, or maybe that you should be grateful to God for giving you health, for giving you the possibility of living, of staying alive, in the morning of waking up. In the afternoon, I've done so many things during the day. Let me be able to continue. At night, let me sleep in peace. I don't know. Everybody could really compose his own text of what his prayer should be. But our rabbis did something else. They actually made a text, formulated exactly how you should pray. That happened over 2,000 years ago in a period called Anshei Knesset HaGedolah, the Great Assembly, the people of the Great Assembly. That came after the period of the prophets. And they tell you exactly what you have to say in the morning, what you have to say in the afternoon, what you say in the evening. And there's a problem. The Talmud says, Ezohi avodah shebelev. What is the service of the heart? And they reply, that must be prayer. Prayer is the service of the heart. Now, how can you make an exact formulation for your heart? Your heart is a question of sentiment, of feeling, of maybe of authenticity. So how can you use the same prayer for everybody? I think each and every one of us should be able to compose his own prayer. But when you think about it, not everybody is really capable of composing a prayer. So maybe some people need a written text, and others could formulate maybe their own text. That brings me to something I've mentioned probably in other opportunities. When you read a text, it is really a dialogue. It is a dialogue between the one who wrote the text and the one who reads the text. Two people read the same text, but they understand it differently. Even the same person. I read a text today that I read 20 years ago, and I read it altogether differently because I have new experiences. I'm not the same as I was 20 years ago. I remember when I was a child in Lima, Peru, we used to read about Gulliver, the travels of Gulliver, and it was about a giant, a person, but really in a place of pygmies. It was very nice for children. But later on, I learned that it was really a political treatise. It was a protest against what was going on in those times. You know, there are different ways of reading a text. So I tell you, our rabbis formulate exactly what I have to say, but they can't tell me what I think. They can't tell me what I feel. You know, if you're about to go in for surgery in a hospital, and you say a prayer, God, please heal me, is that the same sentiment that I would have today, sitting in front of you with relatively good health, saying, God, please heal me? Would my feeling be the same as the person that is going in to be operated on? I don't think so. You know, it depends upon the person. It depends upon the situation in which you find yourself. Today, you're something. Tomorrow, you're somebody else. As a matter of fact, one Hasidic leader once said, if you're the same today as you will be tomorrow, what do I need tomorrow for? In other words, you should really grow. You should become another person. As a matter of fact, after prayer, you should be a different person from the one that you were before prayer. Prayer has to be transformative, because when you pray, you acknowledge God as the creator. And lately I've been reading about the universe. It's driving me crazy. There are millions of planets around that are just like Earth. There are billions of stars in our galaxy, and there are trillions of galaxies in the universe. And here I am, a man. I think I'm the center of the world. You're an enormous universe. You realize how insignificant you are. So when you pray, you realize that there are certain things that are not within your province. You can't do anything about them. You acknowledge other forces in this world. And as I say, a certain amount of humility should be the result also of prayer. So you use a text that was established. But I say again, your thoughts and your feelings cannot be dictated, really. Each and every one of us has their own personality. There's a person standing next to me in the synagogue, and he's praying, and I am praying. And we're saying the same words, but they're not the same words because they are accompanied by different sentiments. So even though things have been regulated, not everything is really regulated. We still have our independence in thought, in feeling, in attitude, and prayer should really make me a better person. I should not be the same person before prayer as I am after reciting a prayer. Think about it.